Hello everybody, this is Al coming at you from Tooth Products, and I'm going to do a quick little video on the Pint Sabretooth Junior NDRD nose dive recovery device. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove this screw, this screw, this screw, and this screw. Then you will take your Junior. When you receive it, it will have this screw and this screw in, but that you'll see that those braces are loose. Those braces go to the axle support. All the hardware is included, which will be the 22 millimeter. You will also get a 45 millimeter and a 50 millimeter just because of some inconsistencies in the plate manufacturers, and I've included all the hardware you need. Okay, so once you remove those 4 screws, what you will do is let these braces loose. You will simply set your device on. The 45 or 50 millimeter will go through here. These are a M4 screw, by the way. And those will set through. And then you will have your 22 millimeter, your shorter screws, and they go in those holes there. Now, what you will do is you will tighten up snugly. You will just snug it down. This screw, that's your front screws on your base plate. Then you will snug this screw and this screw. Don't tighten them the whole way though. Okay, then once those are snug, then you will finally tighten this one and this one. And what that does is it allows everything to seat properly. Now, when this is done and fastened, and it's done correctly, you will see that there is no space here, okay? In other words, that fits flush, okay? It fits flush with the bottom side. So that's a correct installation, all right? And then all you'll do is go over these one more time and give them a final tightening. Don't over tighten them because they are going into a brass fitting and you could possibly strip it. So in other words, just get them using your Allen wrench, tighten them up until they are snug. The instructions say how many inch-pounds that they should be tightened to. Now let's say that you have a float plate. Now the float plates take up a thickness and they add to the space and the overall thickness. So this setup is not going to work because what happens when you lift this up, this will represent the thickness of a float plate. That raises that up and you'll get binding, okay? And it will bind and it won't fit flush. In that case, what you will have to do is you'll purchase either the float plate kit, or if you go to the website, the Tooth Products website, it shows you all the hardware that is included in order for you to make a good fit. Just by taking this screw out, that tipped from this angle to that much. So what we have now is a gap. Right here between the axle support and the brace, all right? Now, what you have to do is you'll take your spacers, which are included, and you'll figure out how many spacers that takes. You'll find out how many spacers it takes in order for this to fit flush again. So we'll put those on. Whoop. And then the brace will go on top. And the other thing that does, when that is parallel, it also keeps the alignment so that the screws will go in. If you don't use the spacers, that will tip this brace and it won't line up. All right, then you'll take a longer screw. This is still a 1/2 inch. It would have a 5/8 and also a 3/4 inch long. And you will simply put that in, and you'll screw that in like that. And once again, the process will be the same. These screws here, okay, they'll be left loose. You don't tighten these up until you get this alignment right. And then once again, you're striving to get a good parallel and have that brace sitting flush on your float plate. And you will use either the 50 millimeter or 55 millimeter in order to achieve the proper screw tension here. The front screws will still remain the 22 millimeter long because the float plate doesn't affect the base plate mounting. And that's all you have to do. And once again, the kit will allow for various thicknesses of float plates. And that's the installation, either with float plate or without float plates. If you have any questions, drop me a line or go to the website Tooth Products and send me an email. Hopefully this clarified. It's a really simple procedure to mount a Sabretooth Junior and save yourself some pain from a possible nosedive crash. And thanks for watching, and have a nice day.